Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make another Minecraft skin statue. This time, I'm going to be showing you how to make Carnage from the Marvel Spider-Man skin pack. I'm giving you a bit of a 12 now. Doesn't he look fantastic? As a bit of a side note, this has been my favourite skin for a little while now. I think I've made about 6 videos using this skin, and I don't plan on stopping. So if you want to make him, here's what you're going to need. You don't need very much whatsoever. You'll need black wool, red wool, white wool, and finally, pink wool. That's right, you will only need those 4 colours. So once you've got those, and once you've figured out where you want to make him, I'm going to be making him right here. You're going to want to kick this off with this little sequence of colours in a row on the floor. You want to do 1 red, 1 black, 4 red, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 black, 1 red, which will give you the base layer of our Carnage statue. So once you've done that, this is what you want to do for the next 2 rows. You just want to copy the row that you've already done. The next 2 rows are just duplicates, so all you have to do is just raise up the first row by 2, which should give you something that should look a little bit like that. Once you've done that, it's time for us to ascend up the legs. So for the next row, do 2 red in the 2 center spots of the row, a single red on the ends of the row, and then black everywhere else. For the next row, you just want to do an entire row of black wool. For the next row, do 2 black in the 2 center spots of the row, a single black on the ends of the row, and then red everywhere else. For the next row, place 4 black wool in the 4 center spots of the row, and then red everywhere else. For the next row, place a single red on the ends of the row, and then fill everywhere in between in with black wool. Hang on a second. Am I the only one that's seen some sort of demonic skull in the black wool? That looks like a really weird demonic looking skull silhouette. In the black? Giant long fangs? Maybe I'm crazy. For the next row, you want to do 2 red in the 2 center spots of the row, and then black everywhere else. For the next row, we will just do this from left to right, it will be simpler. So for the next row, going from left to right, you want to do this sequence of colours. Do 1 black, 1 red, 1 black, 2 red, 1 black, 1 red, 1 black. For the next row, do 2 red in the 2 center spots of the row, a single black either side of the red, and then red everywhere else. Then for the 12th and final row of the legs, do this. Again, we're going to do this from left to right. Do 1 black, 1 red, 1 black, 2 red, 1 black, 1 red, 1 black, which should give you something that should look exactly like that. I'm definitely seeing some sort of extremely weird alien, possibly demonic, possibly satanic skull in the black silhouette. Again, maybe I'm crazy. So that is what you want for the entire leg section of Carnage. Pause out if necessary, of course. Once you've done that, it's time for us to move up to the torso. So come up to the top of the legs, and this is what you want to do for the first row of the torso. Do 4 black wool in the 4 center spots of the row. Do a single red either side of that black, and then throw a black on the ends of the row to finish it off. And what you want to do after you've done that row is you want to extend out the row that you've just made with this little sequence of blocks either side of the row. Do 3 red wool and 1 black. So on the other side of the row as well, 3 red wool and 1 black, which should give you something that should look exactly like that. And I figured I would just mark out the arms now to save us a little bit of irritation later, as the legs somewhat blend into the torso later on. So once you've done that, we're going to continue up the torso. So for the next row, and we are just working on these 8 middle blocks, going from left to right for the next row, do 1 black, 1 red, 1 black, 2 red, 1 black, 1 red, 1 black. For the next row, and as a matter of fact, this is for the next 2 rows, do 4 red in the 4 center spots of the row, and then black everywhere else. And as I did mention, this wants to be for the next 2 rows, so just do it again if you only did it the once. For the next row, do 2 red in... Oops. Do 2 red in the 2 center spots of the row, and then black everywhere else. Had the thrusters on a little bit there. For the next row, you want to do, going from left to right, 1 red, 2 black, 2 red, 2 black, 1 red. For the next row, just do an entire row of black wool. For the next row, do 2 red in the 2 center spots of the row, and then black everywhere else. Then, for the next row, do 2 black in the 2 center spots of the row, a single red either side of the black, then black everywhere else. Then, for the next row, going from left to right, you want to do 1 red, 1 black, 1 red, 2 black, 1 red, 1 black, 1 red. Then, for the next row, do 2 black in the 2 center spots of the row, a single red either side of that black, and then black everywhere else. And now for the final row of the torso, row number 12, you want to do 2 red in the 2 center spots of the row, a single black either side of that red, and then red everywhere else, just to finish it off, which should give you something that should look, in total, exactly like that. Pause that if necessary, of course. That is what you want for Carnage's entire torso. Once you've done that, it is time for us to move onto the arms. So come over to the right hand side and down to where we already kicked the arms off. I like to do the arms like this. I like to do them from right to left, so from outwards, going inwards towards the torso, and I just like to call out the colours. So that is exactly what we'll be doing. So, for the second row of the arm on the right hand side, you want to do 1 black, 3 red. Then for the next row, an entire row of red. Then for the next row, 3 red, 1 black. For the next row, 2 red, 2 black. For the next row, 3 black, 1 red. For the next row, 1 black, 3 red. For the next row, 3 red, 1 black. For the next row, an entire row of black. For the next row, do 2 red, 1 black, 1 red. For the next row, do 2 black, 1 red, 1 black. For the next row and the final row of the arm, do 2 red, 2 black, which should look, once you've done that, exactly like this. So pause that if necessary, of course. Once you've done that, it's time for us to do the exact same thing on the other arm, and I do mean the exact same thing, just a little bit mirrored. So coming over to the other arm, for the second row, you want to do this. Do 1 black, 3 red. For the next row, do an entire row of red. For the next row, do 3 red, 1 black. For the next row, do 2 red, 2 black. For the next row, 3 black, 1 red. For the next row, 1 black, 3 red. Next row, 3 red, 1 black. The next row is entirely black. Next row, 2 red, 1 black, 1 red. Next row, 2 black, 1 red, 1 black. And now for the final row of the arm, do 2 red, 2 black. Once you've done that, you should be left with something that should look exactly like this. So this is what you want to have for both of the arms. Pause this if necessary, of course. Let me show you what you want to have overall so far. So this is the entire front of the statue. As always, pause this if necessary, of course. Once you've reached this point right here, it is time for us to move on to the back. So come round to the back of your statue and come down to the bottom of the feet. And this is what you want to do. Coming out from the back of both ends of the feet, you want to do this little sequence of blocks. You want to do 1 red, 1 black, 1 red, coming out from each side of the feet, directly out of the back, like this. And once you've got those 2 rows right there, you then want to connect them together, going from left to right with this little sequence of blocks. You want to do 2 black, 2 red, 2 black, to give you something which should look, just give you an aerial view is probably easiest, which should look a little bit like that. And what we're going to do, once you've done that, is we're just going to build up the entire back of the statue up on top of these 8 back blocks right here, just as we've built up the entire front of the statue. So ignore these 2 side blocks for now. These 8 back ones are the ones that are important. So for the second row of the back of the statue, all you want to do is copy the first row. So just place black where you have black and red where you have red. Then for the next row of the back of the statue, you want to do, going from left to right, 1 black, 1 red, 1 black, 2 red, 1 black, 1 red, 1 black. Then for the next row, do 4 black in the 4 center spots of the row, a single black on the ends of the row, and then red everywhere else. Then for the next row, place 2 black in the 2 center spots of the row, a single black on the ends of the row, and then red everywhere else. Then for the next row, place... just do this going from left to right, probably be easier. Do 1 red, 2 black, 2 red, 2 black, 1 red. To give you, again, I'm seeing a creeper face in this. For the next row, do 4 black in the 4 center spots of the row, and then red everywhere else. Then, for the next row, going from left to right, you want to do 1 red, 2 black, 2 red, 2 black, 1 red. Then, for the next row, and as a matter of fact, the next 2 rows, you want to do 2 red in the 2 center spots of the row, and then black everywhere else. And as I said, that wants to be for the next 2 rows, so you want a repeat of the first row that you placed. Then, for the next row, you just want to throw a single red on the ends of the row, and then black everywhere else. Now, for the final row of the back of the legs, do 2 black in the 2 center spots of the row, a single red either side of the black, and then black everywhere else to finish off the back of the legs and give you something which should look exactly like this. So, pause that if necessary, of course. Once you're happy that you've done that right, it's time for us to move up to the first row of the back. And unfortunately, the back is not as easy as the front. It's a little bit weirder. So for the first row of the back of our statue, you want to do, going from left to right, 2 black, 1 red, 1 black, 2 red, 2 black. Then, for the next row of the back of our statue, going from left to right once more, you want to do 3 red, 2 black, 2 red, 1 black. Then, for the next row, do 4 black wool in the 4 center spots of the row, and then red everywhere else. Then, for the next row of the statue, going from left to right, do 1 red, 2 black, 2 red, 1 black, 2 red. For the next row, do 1 red, 2 black, 2 red, 2 black, 1 red. For the next row, do 4 red in the 4 center spots of the row, then do black everywhere else. Then, for the next row, do 2 black in the 2 center spots of the row, a single red either side of the black, and then black everywhere else. Then, for the next row, going from left to right, do 1 black, 1 red, 4 black, 1 red, 1 black. Then, for the next row, do 2 red, 1 black, 2 red, 1 black, 2 red. Then, for the next row, just do 4 red in the 4 center spots of the row, and then black everywhere else. Then, for the next row, going from left to right, do 1 black, 1 red, 2 black, 1 red, 1 black, 1 red, 1 black. Then, for the 12th and final row of the back of the statue, you want to do 2 red, 1 black, 1 red, 2 black, 2 red, to give you something which should look exactly like that. So that is what you want for the back of the statue. I know it's somewhat difficult to tell where it begins and where it ends, but trust me, I have the same problem. That's why this was a little bit slow. I was getting a little confused just looking at my plans. difficult stuff. It's completely random pattern in only 2 colours. Doesn't help. So that is what you want for the back. Pause that if necessary, of course. Once you've done that, it's time for us to do the back of the arms. So coming down to where the arms start on the front of the statue, you're just going to want to do, in line with the back, this little sequence of blocks to kick off the first row of the arms. Do 2 red, 2 black, and on the other side as well. 2 red, 2 black. I noticed that it is getting slightly dark, but I just wanted to kick off the arms before I had to rest. I will be back in the daylight with the back of the arms. We'll be starting with lefty first. We're going to be doing the back of the arms in the exact same manner that we did the front of the arms. So from working outwards to in, on this left side first, this is what you want to do for row number 2. Do 1 red, 1 black, 1 red, 1 black. For the next row, do 1 red, 2 black, 1 red. For the next row, do 2 red, 2 black. For the next row, just do a repeat of the previous row. 2 red, 2 black. For the next row, do 1 red, 2 black, 1 red. For the next row, do 1 red, 1 black, 2 red. For the next row, do an entire row of black wool. For the next row, do 2 red, 2 black. For the next row, do 1 red, 1 black, 1 red, 1 black. For the next row, do an entire row of black wool. Now for the 12th and final row of the arm, do 3 red and 1 black. And once you finish that, you should end up with something that looks exactly like that. So pause that if necessary, of course. Once you've done that, it's time for us to go and do the exact same thing to the other arm. So for the second row of the other arm, going from outwards to in, you want to do 1 red, 1 black, 1 red, 1 black. For the next row, do 1 red, 2 black, 1 red. For the next 2 rows, do 2 red, 2 black. So as I said, for the next 2 rows, do 2 red, 2 black. For the next row, do 1 red, 2 black, 1 red. For the next row, do 1 red, 1 black, 2 red. For the next row, do an entire row of black wool. For the next row, do 2 red, 2 black. For the next row, do 1 red, 1 black, 1 red, 1 black. For the next row, do an entire row of black wool. For the next row, do 3 red and 1 black. And once you've done that, you can proudly say that you have done both of the back of the arms. So let me just show you. That is what you want for both of the back of the arms. Pause that if necessary, of course. Let me show you what you want for the entire back of the statue. Look at that. No wonder it's so difficult to make. It's an absolute mess, isn't it? There's no rhyme or reason to the back of that statue. It's... oh god, that's why I love it though. That's why I love it. So that is what you want for the entire back of the statue. Pause that if necessary, of course. Once you've done that, it is time for us to move on to the side of the statue. So come over to this side of the statue and come down to the bottom of the side of the legs, right here. And this is how I like to fill in the side of the statue. I like to work in this left column right here and go straight up. Then I like to do the exact same thing to the right column. So we're going to be starting with this left column right here, the one that is closest to the back of the statue, and going straight on top of this black wool, you want to do 7 black wool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Followed by 2 red, 1, 2. Followed by 2 black. 1, 2, and that will be the left column. Very simple. Moving on to the right column. Going directly up on top of this single red block, you want to do 4 red, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 black, 1, 2, 2 red, 1, 2, 2 black, 1, 2, and finally 1 red to finish off the side of the leg. So pause that if necessary, of course. That is what you want to have for the entire side of the legs. Once you've done that, it's time for us to move up to the side of the arms. So first things first, we have to fill in the bottom of the arms in with red wool, as we don't want any holes in our statue. Once you've done that, you will now have the first row of the side of the arms, and we will be doing the exact same thing to the side of the arms as we did to the side of the legs. So working in this left column first, the one closest to the back of the statue, you want to do on top of this left red, 2 red, 1, 2, then 2 black, 1, 2, 1 red, 1, 2 black, 1, 2, 1 red, 1 black, finally 2 red, which will fill in that left column. Moving on to the right column, you want to do on top of this second red wool, 1 red, 3 black, 1, 2, 3, then 1 red, then 1 black, then 2 red, then 1 black, then 2 red to finish off the entire side of the arm. That is what you want to have, the whole side if necessary, of course. Once you've done that, all you have to do is fill in the top of the shoulder. And all you want to do for the top of the shoulder is quite simply this. Just fill it in, coming 3 deep with your black wool. It just wants to look exactly like that. Just do 2 rows of 3 black wool coming in towards the torso, like so. There is nothing more to it than that. So once you've done that, let me just show you the entire side of the statue in all of its glory. So that is what you want to have for the entire side of your statue. Very simple. Pause that if necessary, of course. Once you've done that, it's time for us to go and do the exact same thing on the other side. And I do quite literally mean the exact same thing. To do this side of the statue, all you have to do is look directly forward and copy what you have. This is personally my favourite part of the tutorial. I'm not looking at my plans. All I'm doing is looking directly forward and copying what I already have. It's perfect. You're plagiarizing off yourself. It's a victimless crime. And I am doing the exact same thing that I expect you guys to be able to do. Don't worry, I'm not looking at my plans. So all you have to do, as I said, and I did that very quickly just to save a little bit of time, all you have to do for that side is to copy the other side of your statue. Very simple, very easy, as I said, very quick, but what more can I say? Copy the other side of your statue and you will be golden, including the top of the shoulder. Don't forget the top of the shoulder. And once you have finished that second side of the statue, I've got some good news for you. We only have a couple of things left to do. So once you have reached this point right here in which you have done the entire front, the entire back, and the entire sides, it's time for us to do the head. So come round to the front of your statue and come up to the very tippy top of the torso right here. And on top of the 8 original blocks of the torso, these ones that I'm hovering over now, you're going to want to do a row of 8 red wool directly on top of them, which should look a little bit like that. What you then want to do, in front of that row of 8 red, is 2 rows of black wool coming directly towards you, like this. Probably easiest if I give you guys a side view. What you then want to do, once you have that second row of black wool, is build directly up on top of it, because this is going to be the first row of the face. For the second row of the face, and as I said, building directly up on top of it, going from left to right, you want to do this little pattern. Do 1 pink, 1 black, 1 pink, 1 black, 1 pink, 1 black. You guys get the idea until you run out of runway, which should look a little bit like that. For the next row after that, you want to do an entire row of pink wool. Then, for the next row, you want to do pretty much the inverse of what we did for the row previous to this. You just want to do 1 black, 1 pink, 1 black, 1 pink. You guys get the idea. You just keep going with that pattern until you run out of room, like so. For the next row, you want to do an entire row of black wool. For the next row, do 2 black in the 2 center spots of the row, and then white everywhere else. For the next row, do 4 black in the 4 center spots of the row, and then white wool everywhere else. And now for the 8th and final row of the face, you want to do 2 red in the 2 center spots of the row, a single black either side of that red, and then white wool everywhere else to give you something which should look exactly like this. That is Carnage's face. Look at him giving us a big smile. Look how happy he is. So that is what you want for the entire face. Pause that if necessary, of course. Once you've done that, it's time for us to move on to the rest of the head. So come round to the back of the head, and what you're looking for is this row of 8 red wool. What you want to do is extend back this row of 8 red wool back by 3 rows with your red. So 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to want to continue extending, but this time with 1 row of black. And then finally, to finish this off, you just want to add in 1 more row of red. Just to give you guys a side view of what this should look like, it should end up looking exactly like that. So pause that if necessary, of course. Once you've done that, we're going to go to work on the back of the head. So this back row here is the first row of the back of the head, and it is slightly wrong. So knock out these 4 blocks technically, and replace them with black. So you're going to want to have that for the first row of the back of the head. For the second row of the back of the head, building up directly on top of that row, do 2 red in the 2 center spots of the row, and then black everywhere else. For the next row, going from left to right, do 1 red, 2 black, 2 red, 3 black. For the next row, do 1 red, 3 black, 2 red, 1 black, 1 red. For the next row, going from right to left, come over to this right hand side and do 1 black, 2 red, then make the rest of the row black. Then for the next row, going from left to right again, that was a special row, going from left to right you want to do 1 red, 2 black, 1 red, 2 black, 2 red. Then for the next row, going from left to right once more, do 1 black, 1 red, 2 black, 1 red, 3 black. Then for the 8th and final row of the back of the head, you want to do 1 black, 2 red, 1 black, 1 red, 1 black, 2 red. Which should give you something that should look exactly like that for the back of the head. Very simple. Just tedious. Once you've done that, it's time for us to move on to the sides. So I'm not sure whether I've said this. I usually say this automatically and never realise it. Pause that if necessary, of course. Once you've done that, it's time for us to move on to the side. So coming over to this side first, we're going to be building up the side of the head exactly like we've done everything else. Just going from left to right and building up. And fortunately for us, we only have these 6 blocks to take care of. So for the second row, back of the head to the front of the head, you want to do 1 red, 1 black, 1 red, 3 black. For the next row, do 2 red, 2 black, 1 pink, 1 black. For the next row, do 3 black, 1 pink, 1 black, 1 pink. For the next row, do an entire row of black wool. For the next row, do 1 black, 1 white, 3 black, 3 black, 1 white. Not following my own instructions. For the next row, do 1 white, 2 black, the rest white. What am I doing? This is driving me crazy. For the next row and the final row of the side of the head, do 2 black, the rest white, which should look exactly like that. And I will point out that this is why it's one of my favourite skins. Look at the detail that goes into the side of the head. Look how cool that is. Anyway, pause that if necessary. Once you're done with that side of the head, it's time for us to move on to the other side. And luckily for us, thank you Jesus or Gandhi or whatever god you may pray to, Goku, all you have to do for this side of the head is copy the other side of the head. There is no need for me to give you any instructions. You just have to look directly forward and copy what we already have. Thank you, Goku. So just do what you've already done on this side, which should look, once you've finished it, exactly like this. And oh look, it looks exactly the same as the other side. Maybe it's just because we've copied it. So there you have it. That is what you want for side number 2. Pause this if necessary, of course. Once you're done with that, it's time for us to move on to the top of the head. That's right, there is even detail on the top of the head. This is why the skin is magnificent. So for the top of the head, here's how we're going to do it. We're going to work from the back of the head to the front of the head, still doing the exact same thing. So going from left to right, working our way towards the front. So for the second row of the top of the head, you want to do 1 black, 3 red, 2 black. For the next row, do 2 black, 2 red, 2 black. For the next row, do 1 white, 2 black, 1 red, 1 black, 1 white. For the next row, do 2 white, 2 black, 2 white. For the next row, do 2 white, 1 black, 1 red, 2 white. For the final row of the top of the head, do 2 white, 2 red, 2 white. And once you finish that, you should end up with something that should look exactly like this. There you go. That is the head, the most painful head that I have ever had to make. So that is what you want for the top of the head. Pause that if necessary, of course. It is getting slightly dark. Once it's light again, I'm going to be back with the final part of this tutorial. That's right, there's more. So as I may have mentioned, even with Carnage's head complete, it's not over. It's never over. The last thing on our to-do list is Carnage's tendrils, and I'm not sure that that's the right word to describe what these are, but that is what I'm going with. Carnage's tendrils. So, for the first set, you're going to want to come to the back, and you're going to want to locate this block right here. I will give you guys a moment to do that. This block right here. And what you want to do is this. And you know what? I can't even describe what I'm doing here. So I'm just going to do it very slowly. And you guys are just going to have to use your own initiative. I'm really sorry, but it's hard. So just do 1 red wall. Then take a sideways view is probably easiest. And just do this. Then from that block, this. Then you want to have that. Then you want another one of these weird blocks that I could never even describe what I've just done there, but you guys can see. Then you want to do 1 more of those. And then just place 1 on the end there. As you can see, I can't even vocalize what I'm doing. I just don't possess the necessary descriptive vocabulary to do it. But hopefully you guys can manage to see what I've done. I mean, it's really hard. I don't know how else to do this. I'm giving you guys a load of angles. You guys pause wherever may be necessary, but maybe it's not as hard as I'm making it out to be, but it's certainly difficult to describe. So that is the first tendril. The next tendril is parallel to this tendril. So starting from here this time, you want to do the exact same thing. So you start off with this, then you go back and up 1. Then you do this little number. I have no idea how to describe that. Then you just do a few diagonals from there. Then you do 2 of these numbers, which again, in my wildest dreams I can't describe that. And then on the second one you just add 1 coming towards you, or towards the front, however you want to look at it. And again, I'm just going to try and give you guys the best view possible of what I've just done, since I can't really describe any of it. So just to give you guys a few views. I think that's all of the views, as a matter of fact. And so as you can see, both of those back tendrils are supposed to be the exact same as each other. Pause this if necessary, of course. You may need to rewind and pause where you guys may deem necessary. I wish I could have shown you that better, but I honestly just don't know how. So once you've done those, we just have a few more of these to do. So come over to the left arm, or the left side. It is a left arm, as a matter of fact, as well. But come over to the left side. And from this block right here, I managed to find it dead on, this back block right here, you want to first extend it out, and then, taking this view, you just want to do 2 upright diagonals from it. So you just want to have something which, to give you guys a front view, should look exactly like this. And once you've done that, pause that if necessary, of course, you're just going to want to come a little further down, and from this block right here, you're going to want to do something similar. So from this block, extend it out one, then coming towards the front again, do 2 upright diagonals, except this time it wants to be a little bigger. Then do an up left diagonal, and then an upright diagonal, which should look, just to give you guys a front view, exactly like that. So once you've done that, and pause that if necessary of course, it's time for us to go and do the final tendril, which is on the other arm. So come over to the other arm, and you want to locate this block right here. This one. And what you want to do is pretty much the exact same pattern as the last tendril we did. So from this block, just extend it out by 1. Then, to take a front view again, do 2 up left diagonals, 1, 2, then an up right diagonal, then an up left diagonal, which should end up looking exactly like this. So pause that if necessary, of course. Once you've done that, I have some extremely good news. You have officially conquered the Carnage statue. Look at him. Look at him. Let me give you guys a nice front view first. I should note that once you've reached this point in the video, the tutorial is officially over. All I'm going to do now is give you guys a nice 360-degree view of our Carnage statue, just so that you can check it out properly. Make sure that yours looks exactly like this. Maybe talk about it a little bit. I really like this statue. I think this is actually my favourite statue of all time that I've made so far, and I've designed some of my own statues. But this, I really do like it. This is fantastic. Especially since it's just red and black. It's amazing. You wouldn't have thought that something with so few colours could be so tedious to make, but I really do like the statue. I really do enjoy it. If you wanted to, by the way, something that I've thought about doing but just haven't bothered, if you wanted to mess about more with the tendrils, like if you wanted to change his arm positions and make him look a bit more threatening, or just add more tendrils in general, you could do that. It wouldn't be too difficult. If you just follow the original pattern of tendrils, just make them all like that. You could throw some more on if you wanted to, but there you have him. Favourite statue to date, Carnage. I hope it was easy enough to follow. I really did try my best, but honestly it's given me a massive headache making this. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you really like the statue. I really love it. See you in the next one. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, maybe you should think about subscribing. I have plenty more stuff like this on my channel. I have tutorials ranging from YouTube statues, skin statues, houses, pixel art, the list goes on. Thanks for watching.